Hello and welcome to Group 6 presentation of the Operations Management Simulation. And today, myself, Minette, Anu, Priyam, and Seda are going to be presenting our experience and our lessons learned while playing this game. So, this game is all about giving us a bit of insight as to how to properly run or as to how operation management goes. We had the opportunity of playing 5 modules, and each module represented a particular stage in the operations system. And so we're going to be touching on the production process, supplier management, bidding and contracts, human resource and capacity planning, and also having to manage a new branch, which was really, really interesting. So there were a lot of insights, there were a lot of key learnings that we actually got from the game. And again, the entire process of the game is to enable us apply the concepts we've learned throughout the course, throughout these 3 months we've been studying operation, we've been learning operations management, and we're going to dive right into each module, explaining exactly the challenges we faced and how we were able to manage these challenges and what we learned from each and every module. So, my colleague Anu is going to take over and she's going to present the production process, and we're going to head on from there with Shada, who is going to present the supplier management process. Over to you, Anu.
Hello everyone. So now I'm going to talk about the module 1 of the production process game simulation which we as a team have played. So some stations like the cutting and sewing machines became the bottlenecks early on due to high demand, causing production inefficiencies. Our key goal was to balance machine uses while ensuring that all orders were completed on time. Initially, the production floor had a low machine utilization rate, only 33%. This signified that some machines were underused while others, like the cutting and sewing machines, were overburdened. When we came to the point of identifying the bottlenecks in our production process, became the bottlenecks over the time became very clear. Machines like the cutting and sewing machine stations were overused and struggled to keep up with demand. Meanwhile, the packing machines sat idle in the early stages, reflecting a lack of balance in our production scheduling. Using the game analytics, we were able to pinpoint these bottlenecks and realize that the production flow could be optimized by reworking the plan. When it came to decision making and prioritization, we had several key factors. Deadlines, we focused on completing the most urgent orders first to ensure that we could meet the delivery deadlines and maximize on our on time performance. Then, second, machine utilizations, we paid close attention to avoid overloading machines while ensuring others were being used effectively. Third, resource allocation. By optimizing the allocation of work across machines, we made sure that the production process flowed smoothly, reducing idle times. Then came to the fourth point where we looked into the production efficiency. We also minimized setup times by grouping similar orders together, allowing us to reduce machine downtime and increase throughput. Then we also implemented several strategies while playing the game for the improvement, like rebalancing the workloads, parallel processing, then machine upgrades consideration. This was a crucial part for our machine, like the machine upgradation, where we consider them as a possible solution for future simulations as well. And as upgrading equipment could potentially help us deal with high demand. Then the most important factor was the proactive planning. When we talked about the proactive planning, instead of reacting to the bottlenecks, we embrace proactive planning using data to predict potential problems because they arose and adjusting our schedule accordingly. Now I'm going to talk about the results and reflections and the lessons that we have learned. By the end of the simulation, we saw a significant improvement in production efficiency, which increased up to 65% of the production flow. More importantly, our repetition score went up to 285, a reflection of our ability to meet deadlines and improve operational efficiency. We completed all 5 contracts on times, which further validated the effectiveness of our strategies. Now, we definitely have learned the key factors where proactive scheduling is the key. Balancing machine utilization is very important. Prioritizing matters such as like high impact tasks were addressed first, which overall improve the efficiency of the time and the machines. Then teamwork, which is the least but last but not the least, very important, teamwork drives better decision making. Collaborative decision making within our team allowed us to tackle problems more efficiently and implement successful strategies. Coming to the conclusion of the production process, the simulation provides valuable insights, including the complexities of production process management by identifying bottlenecks early, making informed decisions, and our utilizing our resources strategically. We were able to complete all orders on time. The skills and strategies we'll learn from this experience will be crucial as we move forward to the real managing to managing of the real world production process. I mean, ensuring high performance.
Hello everyone. Today I will walk you through the operation simulation game, focusing on the module 2. Um, to begin, selecting the right suppliers was crucial to balancing cost, quality, and delivery time. We assessed multiple options and ultimately chose reliable clothing for wool. Their price was about 40 cent per unit was competitive, and with a 1 week delivery time, they provided an ideal balance of affordability and reliability. Um, we also took advantage of bulk order discounts to optimize cost while maintaining production quality. Our supplier choice lead to significant benefits, like procuring wool from reliable clothing ensured a steady supply and prevented disruptions. On the other hand, bulk order discounts allowed us to manage the budget more efficiently, freeing up funds for high priority materials like silk and denim. Additionally, maintaining a balance between cost and quality helped us avoid the production issues while keeping expenses under control. Ultimately, these decisions contributed to a smooth supply chain and stabilized to production process. Our next slide is about decision making process. In this process, we needed to source silk. Here we focused mainly on quality because it was our top priority to minimize defects and production errors. While we considered multiple suppliers, we selected Owens Textile because they offered a fair price and consistent quality. Some suppliers offered cheaper silk, but they didn't meet our required standard. Although Wins Textile had a longer delivery time, their reliability and performance made them the best long-term choice. This decision reflects how we balanced different trade-offs to ensure smooth operations. By this, our careful supplier selection, cost saving measures, and quality management lead to as a well balanced and efficient operation. This was all about module 2, and this presentation will continue by my another team members. Thank you.
Hello everyone. I will be presenting how market research and internal planning helped guide our decisions when selecting which contracts to bid on. This all comes under Module 3. So, as you can see, we began with analysis. Through thorough market research, we identified which bidding opportunities aligned with our strengths and current capabilities. This step helped us filter out high risk or low return contracts early on. If we see right next to it, there's balance. We noticed that some contracts, while attractive in revenue, would have strained our production capacity. Market trends showed a potential spike in demand in the next cycle. So it became important not to overcommit now and lose flexibility later. We also prioritize contracts that offered sustainable growth without really exceeding our capacity. Lastly, there's focus. We emphasized on focus. We selected contracts that aligned with our long term strategic goals, especially those that encourage sustainable practices uh, and which also positioned us well for upcoming market shifts. On this slide of bidding and contracts under module 3, I will be discussing decision making process. Um, we have three in total: contract due date, industry reputation, and proactive planning. In making our final decisions, we evaluated each contract on three key factors. Starting with the contract due date, we gave preference to contracts with realistic timelines that fit well within our current workflow. Tight deadlines, especially during high demand periods, were seen as high risk. Industry reputation, this is the second one. We also assess the clients themselves. Bidding on contracts from reputable firms not only reduced our payment risk but also improved our standing in the market. Lastly, we have proactive planning. Our market research revealed that there happened to be a shift towards eco friendly solutions. So, we proactively focused on this and we prioritized contracts that positioned us to take advantage of this emerging trend. Thank you.
Okay, I'm back again. Let's dive right into human resource and capacity planning. So, in this module, we were faced with one of the most challenging aspects of running a business, which is managing human resource. And it was really challenging. This particular module was really challenging because we did have to play it a couple of times to get the way we were going wrong. And so, first of all, one of the mistakes we made initially was hiring so many staff, thinking increasing the number of staff is going to actually solve the problem, but that wasn't it. Yes, it actually solved the problem, but it increases cost drastically, and at the end of the day, we're unable to make profits. And again, the game, first of all, sets you up for failure technically because the very first person we were asked to hire was charging us $950 a week. And later on, we realized that we had people with similar skills to his who were actually charging less. So, how did we approach this? Immediately, we hired him because we had to hire him. As requested by the game, we did fire him the following week. And then we decided to structure our game as such. So we choose to hire people that didn't cost us more than $450 a week. Now, on this image, you can see we had an employee that was costing us 530 a week, and there, but we actually did drop him off and hire another employee that was costing us way less than this, and all we had to do was upskill employees. So we realized that training employees was way better than hiring more employees. Now we choose to go with this structure, we did actually hire two people in the shipping department, even though it's not shown on our slide here. But we went with this structure because we realized that hiring more employees is costing more, and then it's obvious it doesn't really solve the problem as we expect it to be solved. So we did train the person in bidding and contracts up to 3 stars, which was enough for him. We also trained those in receiving up to 4 star each, which increased their capacity drastically, the sorting capacity drastically. Production department, we choose to maintain five because that is the backbone of the holding of the company, so we needed a full team there. But what we did was we did go ahead to train them as well to full capacity, which also increased like it again. We realized training those in the production department did reduce setup time, machine setup time, which was a very big bottleneck we had. And in shipping, we also hired two people. Now, we did have a problem with idle time because those in shipping didn't have work to do all the time. So what we did in that particular scenario was we, from time to time, when we checked our production schedule and we realized that we're not going to have products to ship the coming week, we moved those in shipping to the receiving department to increase capacity in the receiving department so as to increase production capacity as well, because then more materials will be sorted faster and sent to the production department. That did help us minimize idle time and increase productivity and efficiency. Also, another thing we noticed in this particular module was for us to actually make profit, we needed to speed up shipping. Now, that was a department we used to ignore, but shipping, the standard shipping time is 2 weeks. And while when you pick the standard shipping, that product is sitting on on your production capacity for 2 weeks. So you can't bid for new products because these products are sitting there even though they're supposed to have gone. So what happened was we had to speed up shipping. So we used expedited or priority shipping so as to free up space and for us to bid up for us to bid on new contracts and get going. Um, what the main things we actually learned from this particular module was you don't need highly experienced staff. I mean, you do need them, but you don't need all your staff to be perfectly experienced to hire them. You can actually hire low skilled staff and train them. And that is so very, very cost effective as a business. Secondly, human resource is the backbone of every business. Playing this game broadened my thoughts. Like it gave me more insight as to how important your human resource structure is. A very poor human resource structure can broke a business, and a very good one can make your business grow. So next we're going to move on to module 5, which was really interesting. I would say module 5 was a walk in the park after playing module 4, because module 4 was really challenging. And so for module 5, we were tasked with managing a new branch. And what we did in this module, again, we were just basically implementing what we learned from module 1 to module 4. So what we did in this module was we focused on staffing first of all, which, as you can see, our setting here, this was how our setting remained to the end of the game, even though we did upskill a few workers. So we made sure all our workers got up to 4 stars, except for the bidding and contracts, which we left at 3 stars because that was enough for him. Um, we did do the same thing we did in module 4. From time to time, we did move employees from the shipping department to the receiving department to increase capacity in the receiving department and to also avoid idle time, to reduce idle time because we don't want to be paying for workers who are not actually working as a business person. And the next thing we also did in this module was we did upgrade our machines, which we also did in module 4. So we upgraded all our machines to full capacity to increase production capacity and to increase efficiency as well. We also did use priority shipping a lot because, as we learned in module 4, prioritizing shipping is very important because, again, having that stock blocking your capacity, your production capacity, weighs you down because you have contracts you need to bid on, you have contracts you need to start working on, but you can't even bid on those contracts because you don't have the capacity at the moment. So what we did was we did speed up shipping. We prioritize shipping by we did you use priority shipping for most of the times using 0 weeks, so instant shipping, express shipping, and that freed up a lot of space and we're able to take on more contracts. So we were functioning at full capacity. We were highly productive. We had less idle time, which actually enabled us to make profits and achieve our goal as the module requested. Also, um, so here again, key learnings: training improves efficiency drastically. Um, it is way better to hire low skilled staff and train them than to hire overly experienced staff who are going to cost you very like so much money. Secondly, it is more cost effective to upskill your staff. It is important, like investing in employee training is more profitable than hiring overly experienced employees who are costly. Second, next we have proactive planning. So proactive planning was one of the strategies we used in this module. So what happened was we did order for products. Sorry, we did bid on contracts. We knowing that we're going to get these contracts because our reputations was probably higher than the reputation of the client we're bidding to. Since we knew we're getting this contract, we did pre-planned production. So whenever we bid on a contract and we had capacity, we go ahead to order materials required for this contract beforehand. We go ahead to start production for this contract beforehand. So by the time the following week comes and they approve the contract, production is already in process. So we get to ship these items earlier than expected, and we get to free up space earlier as well, which helped us remain highly productive and efficient and helped us achieve our goals. Also, strategic spending. So this here focuses on the shipping department. As we said, we did spend more on shipping because, again, priority shipping means you're going to spend more on shipping, but it was for a good cause because, again, going for the cheaper route but blocking your production or limiting your capacity for 2 to 3 weeks is worse. So again, it's better you spend an extra 500 $600 to make 20,000, 18,000, like in the case in the photo in the image on the slide, than to actually just sit and waste 2 weeks worth of production capacity because you want to prioritize low shipping cost. So those were the lessons learned from this particular module. And overall, this module taught us the importance of strategic decision making. We were able to make strategic decisions based on the challenges we faced. Um, and we realized that as a business, it is important to balance cost and quality. Yes, we want quality, but we also want yes, we want quality, but we also want to be cost effective. And this would be used in the example of supplier management as well, which the problems we face here was the fact that we had suppliers who were actually low costs, like they were cheaper, but they were not very reliable, and they ended up costing us more because they were slowing down production and reducing our efficiency. So you'd order for products and what you get is way less than what you expected, which reduces your production capacity, and then you have to order for more products again. So we realized that it was better to spend more on high highly reliable suppliers than spend less on low reliability and end up wasting more time on production. Also, we did it gave us a hands-on experience into what the real world of operations management is all about, and it was very interesting. So thank you. And here again, to conclude, it is important to integrate different strategies. It is important. Teamwork is very, very important because the only reason why this was able to happen was because the departments were working hand in gloves. You could see capacity for each department. You could get requests from each department. So teamwork is very important, and adaptability. It is very important as a business to be able to adapt to market trends, to market changes, to demands, and adapt your facilities to what is required. So that is going to be it for our presentation. This is our team, and it was a nice experience playing this game and having a hands-on experience as to what operations is all about. Thank you.